shake it.
All right. Does anyone have a hoverboard? Does anyone have one of those? Okay, can you ride it well? Can you ride it well? So you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't bite it in your backyard. Okay. Yeah, I think I would bite it horribly on that. Some of you guys looked like that on Friday morning of camp, dragging a suitcase out. This one's pretty funny. So,
Jackson, what's wrong with them? Are they empty?
that's what I feel about empty Easter eggs too. Oh man, that was wrong. This one's the worst one that's wrong. Broccoli. She's like Reese's and Hershey's Kisses, and he's getting broccoli. Oh, it's so wrong. All right, you can kill it. Hey, kill it. Welcome to Xtreme tonight. Welcome online as well. Man, we've had a great group of people joining us online every single week. Thank you for hanging out with us. How many are ready for spring break like no other? Anyone here? How many of you have a major project that's due between now and spring break? Okay. How many are going to procrastinate until tomorrow night to do this?
It's not due till Sunday night.
Oh, it's not due till Sunday night? How many are procrastinating till is like the last minute to get it done? Okay. All right. How many of procrastination has kicked in completely right now? Like, how many I don't care has really kicked in completely? You're just like, I don't care. I don't, whatever. And it doesn't have a single thing to do. It doesn't have a single thing to do with COVID. It's just that you're done. So let me give you a couple of announcements. These are really critically important tonight. I need everyone to listen. I have 10 more spots for camp. Sky, I might be talking to you, just saying. I have 10 more spots for camp. I have to cancel them tomorrow or fill them. I have to fill them or cancel them because here's the thing. If I don't cancel them by tomorrow, then I'll have to pay fully for all 10 spots. That's about $2,000. So I can't afford to do that out of our youth budget, so that's kind of where we are. And listen, if you're online and you're listening to this tonight and you want to go to camp with us, you need to send me a message tonight. Send me a text message. My phone number is 918-606-9884. Hey, if you're in this room and you don't have my cell number, this is a great time to take it down and put it in your phone. It's 918-606-9884. If you ever get into trouble and you're having a hard time, your car breaks down or you go to jail or you need a girlfriend. Wait, no. If you need a girlfriend, don't text me or call me about that. If your boyfriend or girlfriend breaks up with you and you need to text me or call me, my phone number is 918-606-9884. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to help you be able to remember that phone number, 9884. If you look at the letters that go with 9884, it spells youth, Y-U-T-H. I've had this phone number forever. Longer than you've been alive, I've had this phone number, so you can remember it. 9884 is Y-U-T-H if you look at the letters that go with the numbers on a phone. So anyway, that's if you need my number. But if you know anyone that wants to go to camp with us, I've got to do that tomorrow. I hate to do that tomorrow. I would love to take 84 students with us, and I projected that many out, and we've gained up to 74 students that are going to camp with us. So how many know we're going to have a fun time going to camp? We always have a blast and have a good, fun time doing that. So the second thing I need to tell you is this. If you're interested in our summer trip, which is July 8th and 9th, we are going to St. Louis, Missouri. We're going to go to Six Flags Hurricane Harbor. And my favorite place, we're going to go to City Museum. If you've never been there, you're missing out on one of the greatest museums ever known to man. These guys who've created it are just genius, and you'll want to go on that trip with us. It's $20 to just hold your spot. Go online, www.wasofirst.com/events, and you can sign up there to go with us. Online, if you're watching with us, I'm addressing you a bunch tonight because we have lots of students who haven't been back, and I know you're watching online because I can see it on our census of who's watching Facebook. Go on there, sign up for our summer trip. I'll have to close that soon so I can work out whether we're taking a charter bus or we're taking our vehicles. The difference in price on that's about $3,000. So again, I have to reserve a bus and tell them that we're going to take it for sure. If we get above a certain number, I'll have to do that. Otherwise, we'll take our vehicles and we'll have a brilliant time. And then the last thing I need to tell you is this Sunday night, normally we have oxygen, wired/oxygen. We've been doing that for a few months here, just simply to have games and to eat food and hang out and do stuff. This Sunday night, there's a free concert at 6 p.m. in the main building. There will be nothing down here on Sunday night. The following Sunday night, there will be oxygen back here. We'll be doing a game night. It'll be upstairs, and we'll be doing a board game night. And then next Wednesday night, let me tell you about that. Next Wednesday night, we have two special guests that are here with us. We have a missionary. It's a young lady who's a missionary, and her name is what, Leah? Come on, Leah, you've got this. Bethany Hines is going to be with us next Wednesday night, right at the beginning of service. She's a single missionary that's going into a very difficult part of the world, and we're going to support her. And she's going to be here as our guest next Wednesday night. Leah will be hosting service along with Carter. They're going to be running games and doing things. and they'll be hosting front of house. And then our other special guest is one of my youth pastor friends of a long time. He's been at the same church for 15 years. His name is Ryan Summers, and he's spoken to us at our New Year's Eve a couple of times. He's with the Bridge Youth Group. Remember when we went to the Bridge? You guys remember when we went out to the Bridge and played games at their youth building and did that over New Year's, and then he's spoken to us. But he's going to be here next Wednesday night. Ann and I and our family, we are not going to be here. It's the first time in 30 years that I'm actually taking a trip on spring break. I've always done stuff for students on spring break, but we are taking Ann's mom, and we are going on an amazing vacation if we can get COVID tested negatively and get out of the country. So it's going to be a beautiful thing. But that's what's happening. So how many of you like to know all that stuff? How many of you are OCD and you just like to know all that information? You're like, please tell me all that information so I know what's going on. Okay, 2 other things I need to tell you about coming up really soon. I am booking right now every single Exodus for this summer. If you'd be interested, if you have a pool at your house and you're like, man, Kevin, we'd like you to come to our house and swim or hang out. Maybe you have a huge play field, a playground, or a green strip or whatever right next to your house, and you'd like us to come and hang out there on a Thursday from 1 to 4, I need to know that really soon. I'm already booking up a bunch of new places for us to go swim. And then I spoke with Jerry Fowler and Owasso Strong Neighborhood Initiative. I spoke with them last Thursday night, and on May the 22nd will be our Owasso Cares Day. And I know that's past graduation. It should be past the time that you're out of school, is I'm hoping. How many are hoping the school will actually be out by then? That's when it's scheduled to be out, is before then. So here's the thing. I want you to sign up and start to plan on that day. We'll be working in Ator, and we'll be working in El Rio Vista. That's the 2 neighborhoods we'll be doing stuff in. And so that's a couple of things that are coming. And then Urban Soul will be happening. Listen, if you're interested in being a part of the leadership of Exodus, if you're a high schooler and you're interested in being part of Exodus or of Urban Soul, please get in touch with me. Come and talk to me. That's all the stuff that's getting ready to come up. All right, Macy, let's make the change up there. Let's go to our game tonight. Who wants to compete in my game this evening? Okay, all right, here we go. So I'm gonna come over here. Let's see. I'll take you two. You two, come on. All right, so then I'm going to come over here, and I'll take you 2 guys right here, okay? You 2 guys right here, all right? There we go. All right. And then I'll take you 2 girls that have your hands up on the back right there. Come on. There we go. All right, and I need 2 more guys. I'll take 2 more guys right here. Here we go. Girls go to that side, guys go to this side. How many of you know information about things that are green? Do you know any information about things that are green? Yes, no. How many of you know that this is March? Did you know that this is March?
Yes.
4-leaf clover. What holiday happens during?
St. Patrick's Day.
Look at you. Look at you. Okay, so what do you guys know about anything that's green? What do you know that's green? The grass. There we go. Grass is green. All right, there we go. Okay, so we're just going to go guys against girls tonight. It's guys against girls. At the end, if the guys win, get more answers correct, then we'll have something for them. I think we're going to do concession stand tonight is what we're going to do as our winning event. So here we go. Should we start with girls or should we start with guys? Okay, so we start with girls. So here is our first question. You have to get this correct. This is a trivia game about green things. Here we go. The first question is, who said it's not easy being green? Which one of these 4 people? No crowdsourcing. No. You can't. This isn't a team effort. This is you. This is you. Here we go. Which one? No, you can't team source. No team sourcing. Give me the answer. Is it A, B, C, or D? Who said it's not easy being green? Who is it? A, B, C, or D? You got to give me a letter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. B, Shrek. And the answer is Kermit the Frog. There we go. There's the answer. All right, here we go. Second question. Here we go. Second question. What year did the Boston Celtics win their last NBA championship? What year was it? A, B, C, or D? No, you can't source. You can't talk. You can't talk. You cannot talk.
Let's just say, I'm not going to lie, I was going to say my birthday. Or no, the first year I was born.
The year you were born was what?
2008.
2008. Is 2008 correct? 2008 is the correct answer. No crowdsourcing over here. Don't just talk. Just don't speak. All right, here we go. You ready? Next question is, in the 1990... Can't even get the question out before you're cheating. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Which pizza company do the Turtles order delivery from? It is Domino's. And the answer is Domino's. Girls have one, guys have one. Here we go. Next question. All these releases, which Green Day album has sold the most copies worldwide? Dookie, Revolution Radio, 21st Century Breakdown, American Idiot. Which one is it? A, B, C, or D? 5, 4, 3. D, American Idiot. And he got it correct. The boys are on a roll tonight. All right, here we go. Next question. According to legend, if a human catches a leprechaun, what must that leprechaun do in exchange for their own freedom? A, B, C, or D? Okay, I'll help you. 3 wishes, a handful of gold coins, good luck for an entire year, or a map to a pot of gold. Which one is it? A, B, C, or D? A, B, C, or D? It's A.
I did not say A.
What is it then? 5, 4, 3. B is the correct answer. Is B the correct answer? Nope. A was the correct answer. I tried to help you. All right, here we go. Next question. All right. In what year did McDonald's introduce the Shamrock Shake? 50, 60, 70, or 80? Shh. C in 1970. Correct answer is C. The boys are killing it tonight. Woo! All right, here we go. Next question. Oscar the Grouch wasn't always green. What color was his Sesame Street character when he first appeared? Orange, purple, blue, or red? Is that your final answer? Sure. Red. Is red the correct answer? Nope, he was orange. It was amazing he was orange. All right, here we go. Next question. With this, the guys can seal the win completely tonight. A green gem is called an emerald. What month has the emerald as its birthstone? April, July, November, or May? Shh. April, July, November, or May? D. May. Is May the correct answer? The boys sweep tonight. All right. After service tonight, go to the concession and get one item from there from me on me tonight. Give them a huge hand tonight. And Leah, that's how it goes. Let's see. Do you want to go side against side? I've got a few more questions still. I've got just a couple more questions. Yes? Are you game for that? Side against side? Okay. So you can crowdsource on this next one for this side. We'll see if you can get the correct answer. Here we go. Percentage of the world's population has green-colored eyes. Is it 5, 11, 7, or 2? Is this C? Are you guys saying C? Which one is it? A, B, C, or D? It's B. Are you guys saying B? Are you saying D? Are you saying D as in dog is the answer? You're saying C. B? You guys are all over the alphabet. How many think D as in dog? D as in doggy. D as in dog. Okay, we're going with D as dog as their answer. And here's the answer. There it is. It was correct. All right, we're going to your side of it tonight. Here we go. Give me the next question. Which vegetable was once banned from the White House? Asparagus, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, or kale? Which one was banned from the White House? It literally was banned. What do you think? You guys help me out. Is it B? Who thinks it's, you guys gonna help me? How many think it's C? How many think it's C? Broccoli. How many think it's B? Someone was yelling B right here. B, okay. Okay, so you guys are going with B. Is B your final answer? So you guys are going B as well? Okay, let's raise your hand on this side. How many think it's B? Okay, 1, 2, 3. How many think it's C? That was the two answers I heard. 1. Okay, so we're going, you voted more for B. So let's give it Brussels sprouts. Unfortunately, the correct answer was broccoli. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so you guys are up 1-1. Here we go. Let's go one last question on this side. Let's see who knows things that are green. Here we go. Next question, and it is, we already know that one. Next one, is that it? Am I out of questions? Hey, am I out of questions? Okay, that's what I need to know. Thank you. All right, so you guys win. There we go. This side wins tonight. Feel the victory this evening. All right. Hey, if you're a guest with us tonight, we're really super happy that you took time out to be at Xtreme. Maylee's getting ready to tell you a little bit about our youth group, and she's getting ready to walk right over there to that door, right next to our VIP sign. Here at Xtreme, we love visitors. We're glad you're here tonight. If you happen to be a guest with us tonight, if you'd go that way with her, all the rest of you, why don't you greet each other and listen. Tell someone what your favorite green thing is. Okay, there we go.
relenting trace. I was on the edge of deception, caught up in my own hesitation, until your love took over me. Whoa. So I let go and I let love show me life like it's supposed to be. It oasis, here awaits us all the freedom I'll ever need. Now I'm alive. Oh la la, oh la la. When I let go and I found life. Oh la la, oh la la. When I let go, I found life. La 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 la. The highway is calling me to a life unlike before. The Father's heart is beckoning, and I can't resist no more. Lead me in the ways of devotion. Don't wanna get caught in the motion. My heart is only for you, Lord. So I let go and I let love show me life like it's supposed to be. An oasis, here awaits us all the freedom I'll ever need. Now I'm alive. Oh la la, oh la la. When I let go and I found life. Oh la la, oh la la. When I let go and I found life. So I let go and I let love show me life like it's supposed to be. An oasis, here awaits us all the freedom I'll ever need. Now I'm alive. Oh la la, oh la la. When I let go and I found life. Oh la la, oh la la. When I let go and I found life.
You guys are just outstanding tonight. You know, I know this is a crazy week because it's almost spring break week, and it's kind of been a hectic week. How many of you had a hectic week? Like this week, just up to this point, it's just been lots of stuff. You're just like, how am I going to make it on through this? And sometimes the only way I know to make it through is just to depend on Jesus to help you make it through. Because sometimes it doesn't get easier. Sometimes it's difficult. And man, this week, I just encourage you to finish it strong in the Lord. And how do I finish it strong in the Lord? Man, we come in here on Wednesday night and we have a chance to worship together. And this song, since we've been doing it, is it's about peace. Went to a funeral this week. Went with Cameron, actually. I went and sat with him at his grandma's funeral. And all I know is that God can give us peace that the world can't understand. And it's something that I depend on. And Thessalonians tells us he gives us a peace that passes all of our normal understanding. And our normal understanding is that we just get, if life doesn't go exactly how we want it to, it gets kind of all over the place. And I've just been thinking about this week, is I can have peace in the middle of a storm. And I remember the story of Jesus with the disciples. When they're in the boat and it's kind of getting crazy. And they're like, we're going to perish. Our life's going to end. And they have Jesus in the boat with them. But they're like, man, this is not going to work out well. And they wake Jesus up, and Jesus just calms the storm completely. And I want you to hear that tonight, that Jesus can calm the stuff that's so hectic and so crazy. The question is, will you wake him up? Will you address him? Will you approach him? And the disciples, I'm sure anytime your leader's asleep, they're going, this is probably not a good idea, but then they're like, we're going to die. We're going to wake him up. That's what we're going to do. And can I tell you, part of being with Jesus, or Jesus being in your boat, is that you can interact with him. You can talk to him, and he knows where you're at, and he knows what's in your heart. And tonight, man, just this, how many of you, and I've been watching and reading and doing a lot of stuff, how many of you just felt pressure? Like this whole semester, there's just been this added pressure going on with you. Anyone in the room, just like you can feel it, you can sense it. It's just, and then any little minor thing, how many of it becomes a major thing? Just the pressure of a minor thing becomes a major thing, and you're just like, I don't know why I'm this way. Well, part of it's the season we're in. And I just want to challenge you to let Jesus be in with you and to trust him. Why? Because he loves you, and he cares about you so much. And just in preparation for tonight, we have practiced this song, and we spent some time with it, and I've played it a lot. Is that he gives us peace, and that he is there for us and in us, and he's going to help us. Jesus, I love you tonight. And God, I pray in the next couple of moments that we have together, Jesus, that you would let us find rest and let us find peace in you, Jesus. God, we love you tonight. And Jesus, for those who are just even struggling tonight, God, I pray that you would speak to their heart comfort, that you'd speak to their heart hope tonight, Lord God. God, that you wouldn't let them feel like they're alone or desolate by themselves. Instead, that, God, they would sense that you're with them and that you know them and that you care about them tonight. God, we love you, and we give you praise tonight. Macy, if you'll go ahead and move the words forward to the... How many of you know that that's a true statement? No matter what it is, he stays true. I think one of the things about this season is you sometimes try and figure out what the truth really is. Right? Have you wondered what the truth was about the mask, or about the COVID, or about the quarantining, or about... How many of you there's just a lot going on, and you're trying to figure out exactly what is the truth, and here's what I know is that Jesus is the truth, and he'll help us in this season.
Will stay true, even when the lies come. Your word remains true, even when my thoughts don't line up. I will stand tall on each promise you made. Let the rest fade away. There's a peace far beyond understanding. May it never set my heart at ease. There in Zion, I'll remember this is the moment.
so true.
Your word remains true, even when my mind wreaks havoc. I will be still, for I've known all along, my Jehovah Shalom. There's a peace far beyond all understanding. May it focus and my mind ease. What anxiety fails to remember that peace is a promise you keep. Peace is a promise you keep. No, no, you are peace to the restless soul. Peace when my hands rage war. Peace to the anxious heart. And that's who you are. That's who you are. You are peace to the insane soul. You are peace when I'm feeling close. Peace when I lose control. That's who you are. That's who you are. I found peace far beyond all understanding. Let it flow when my mind's under siege. All anxiety bows in the presence of Jesus, the keeper of peace. Peace is a promise he keeps. Peace to the restless soul. You are peace when my feelings rage war. Peace when I feel stress hard. And that's who you are. That's who you are. I found peace far beyond all understanding. Let it flow when my mind's under siege. All anxiety bows in the presence of Jesus, the keeper of peace. Peace is a promise we keep.
No height, no depth, no life of final breath could ever separate us from your love. No failure, no mistake, no loneliness or pain could ever separate us from your love. Could never separate us from your love. And on the other side of everything I'm afraid of, you're standing with your arms wide open, wide open. Even in my deepest doubts and wonders, you're standing with your arms wide open, wide open. I'm healed, made strong. I found where I belong. Forever changed, unchained by your amazing grace. Forever I'm alive now in your love. Oh, and on the other side of everything I'm afraid of, you're standing with your arms wide open, wide open. Even in my deepest doubts and wonders, you're standing with your arms wide open, wide open. It's wide open. If I make my bed in darkness, if I try my best to hide, you know the farthest ocean gave the morning its light. I can't run from your presence, there's no place that far. So I run to you, my Savior, there's safety in your arms. If I make my bed in darkness, if I try my best to hide, you know the farthest ocean in the morning is light. I can't run from your presence, there's no place that far. So I run to you, my Savior, there's safety in your arms. And on the other side of everything I'm afraid of, you're standing with your arms wide open, wide open. Even in my deepest doubts and wonders, standing with your arms wide open, wide open.
Jesus, we love you tonight. Jesus, we worship you. God, I pray over in this room, everyone that needs peace, I pray they'd find peace in you tonight, Lord Jesus. God, everyone who needs to feel you with your arms wide open, wrapping them around us and us feeling that embrace, God, I pray that that happen tonight in this room. Father, in these minutes we've just taken aside to worship you, Lord God. I pray that you've taken some of the stress off of people's hearts and minds and their bodies tonight, Lord God. I just praise you and I give you thanks tonight for who you are, and I pray that you'd be with us in the next couple of minutes we have together. In your name we pray. Amen. Amen. Why don't you high five someone as you go back to your seat tonight. I was 15 years old and I was at camp, and I want you to go to camp with me because I think camp is one of the greatest things ever. That week we had a guest speaker. His name was Rick Olson. He's one of the most dynamic speakers. He's a lot like Reggie, just able to tell a story really incredibly and give an altar call. And as I went to camp with him, responded in the altar call all week long, I was sensitive to what God wanted to do with my life. I'm 15 years old, and I'm trying to figure out life. I'm trying to figure out what God wants me to do, and I know that some friends and I had been praying on Sunday nights, and we'd been praying on Saturday nights and playing music together at our church. We had a key where we could get in, and we went and did that. And so we go to camp after kind of that experience, and as we went to camp, Rick Olson spoke every night. But then on Friday morning, how many know Friday morning is the worst of camp? I mean, it's the worst. You're ready to go. You're ready to pack up, get out of here, and they always prolong it, and I hate it. I can't stand it, and they give away awards. Used to give away awards But this one year, this one instance, Rick Olson gets up and says this. He says, I need 500 people to go to the country of Jamaica with me to rebuild the church. And I'm going, okay, that's kind of cool. He goes, no, I'm not talking about a church building. They'd had a revolution in the country of Jamaica. Lawyers, doctors, anyone with education had been killed. Churches had been torn down, broken down, burnt down. And they were just moving into a time of freedom in the country of Jamaica. The rule that had done that to the country had been overthrown. They were still fighting. As a matter of fact, the city that I ended up going to was the city of Kingston, and there was part of it we couldn't go to because there were still gunshots and things happening at the nighttime of where we were on the other side of town. So it's still, so my first missions trip I ever took was out of this gentleman standing up and saying, hey, I need 500 people to go with me to do that. So I went home and I told my parents, I said, hey, I feel like I'm supposed to go to Jamaica. And they're like, yeah, everyone feels like they should go to Jamaica. How many of you ever seen Jamaica? How many of you ever seen pictures of Jamaica? You're like, I mean, the water there is pristine. I mean, it's perfect. The weather's incredible. They grow mangoes on every tree known to man. I hate mangoes, by the way. I had them for 14 days straight at every house we went to. So that might have been 20 houses a day for 14 days straight. I can't stand mangoes. So anyway, I jumped way too far ahead of my story. I went home and told my folks, I said, hey, and they said, well, do you have any money? How many money is ever the issue? How many money, you hear you want to do something and you're like, money is the catch, okay? I want to go do that, but it costs this much money. That mission trip, I know this is going to date me and tell you how old I am and all those kind of good things. That mission trip was $550 to go for the flight and the lodging and for everything for 14 days. That's an unbelievable price. That's part of it. And my mom goes, how are you? You're going to have to raise the money to do that. You're going to have to figure out a way to raise money to do what you're feeling you're called to do. I was like, all right, that's cool. I'd always mowed yards. I don't know if you've mowed yards or not, but I've mowed yards. And mowing yards is not that difficult if they're small. It just takes time. You just have to go mow them, and then you get paid money, and then you go back the next week. The good thing about grass is that it grows. So I'd mowed yards before. I said, okay, I can do that. Try and find a few of those. And they're like, well, that's probably not going to get you to the amount of money that you need. So they said, why don't you pray about how you're going to be able to do this? How are you going to be able to do it? And that's a great way to raise some money. How many of you have ever mowed someone's yard for $20 and after you got done, you were like, I just stole money from them? How many of you ever mowed it for $40 and you were really like, I just stole money from them? That did not take that much effort. I'm a teenager and mow it and get it done. And so, but my parents were like, okay, you're going to have to make some choices too. You're going to have to decide if that's what you're going to do. Because then all my friends, the youth pastor goes, hey, we're going skiing. We're going skiing in Colorado. And I'm like, yes, Jesus, hallelujah. I want to do that too. I went to my parents and went, okay, hey, I know I told you I want to go to Jamaica, but I want to go skiing too, because skiing at 15 sounds like the greatest idea ever. And they're like, well, you know what? You're going to have to make some choices. Can I tell you, when my friends all on the bus headed out to go to Colorado to go ski with me staying back at the church was one of the most difficult. Because all of my closest friends are on that bus and they're headed out. And I'm like, okay, Jesus, did you really call me to go to Jamaica? Right after that happened, my uncle called and said, hey, your mom has told me that you're needing to raise some money to go on a missions trip. So why don't you let me come down and I'll pick you up and we'll let you work on our farm all summer. I was as city as you could be. As country as you are, I was the opposite. I was as city as you could get. Basketball, shorts, rarely jeans, but I agreed to it. Now, when he came to pick me up, I'm thinking, okay, they're going to drive down and pick me up. No. He flew down in a single-engine plane to pick me up because he's a pilot. So I go to Wagner, and I get in an airplane. I've not flown in an airplane, so my first time to fly in an airplane is in a single engine. I'm sitting in the passenger's flying seat of this. Now, we didn't take off on some nice runway like over here at the lovely Tulsa International Airport. No, we took off on a grass runway that's pointed downward. It's going like this. You can get enough speed coming down because it's short to get up in the air and fly. Can I tell you, I got saved my first day of going to go work on a farm in Minnesota because I'm going, we're going to die. We're going downhill to go uphill. I didn't figure out that whole thing. But we get there, and can I just tell you, I hate cows. I hate cows. Can I tell you what I hate worse than cows? My cousin. Because my cousin knew about cows and what they would do, and he caused cows to almost kill me. I'm not kidding. He jumped in front of a cow when we were in a chute. If there hadn't been a thing above me to lift my body up right as the cow put his feet right where I was at, I would be dead. I called my mom that night and said, I'm going to kill my cousin. She goes, don't kill him. He deserves to live. I'm like, no, he doesn't. I'm going to punch him in the face. I'm going to hit him with the 2x4 like we're hitting the cows. I mean, we're going to do this. And then I mowed grass. I mowed wire grass. And I was never a mechanic. I don't know if you're a mechanic or not, but I ended up being a mechanic that summer, and I had to change out a hay bine. A hay bine is what you cut down hay with, and if it gets in wire grass, guess what? It's got little teeth on it. They're just little angled teeth. You have to shear that off with a grinder, and then you have to reattach it on. I'd never done any of this stuff in my life, so no kidding. I'm going to get a tan if I've got to be up here. If I've got to be up here in this farmland and all that, I'm in cowboy boots, shorts, and that's it. I'm not wearing a shirt. I'm going to get a tan up here. My cousin and my uncle are laughing at me like no other. They think it's the greatest thing. Every time we'd work cows or anytime we'd go work, anytime, they're laughing at me. They had the greatest entertainment that summer because I was like, I am here to raise money to go to Jamaica. And that's what I'm going to do. And I did. I made it. I survived it. My cousin survived as well. He's still alive today. But I had to sacrifice a lot because I missed all my friends that summer to go and do ministry. Well, Kevin, why are you telling us that story? Because here's the amazing thing. I got back, and my church heard what I'd done, that I'd given up a ski trip, and that I'd gone to go work on a farm, and they knew how not country I was. And the night before I was getting ready to go, the pastor, my dad was not the pastor, he was the associate pastor. The pastor got up and goes, hey, Kevin is going tomorrow to Jamaica to do missions. He's kind of set his mind on it this year to do this. He said, I'd like to take an offering. And the bizarre, crazy thing is that night they took an offering for the exact amount that I needed for the trip. After I'd worked all summer to raise the money for the trip. But I learned some principles about following what God has for you to do. While I was there that summer, we rolled an 18-wheeler over into the ditch loaded with corn, and I could have died. My cousin, who I was going to kill, almost killed me. But it was really the guy in the green Plymouth Fury that was driving down the middle of the road that wouldn't move over that made us have to go off the road. So I almost died that summer, and I was like, okay, God, you must have a plan for my life because I didn't just die. And the other things I learned that summer was that sometimes you have to do things that God's calling you to alone. I didn't have any other friends decide to go with me on that trip. I just had to kind of do that by myself. So when I flew to Miami, Florida, I flew by myself. I landed there. I didn't know anyone except for the speaker who had said, hey, why don't you come and help me reach this church in Jamaica. Now, the crazy thing is, because I trusted God with that part of my life, when I ended up there, one of my very best friends in the world, I ended up rooming with him the first night that we ended up in Miami. I didn't know these guys at all, never met them before in my life. You guys have met Paul Abner, who came here and has spoken about True Love Waits Worth the Wait. He had been a youth pastor at the church that he was from there for 15 years. That's where I met Paul, who influenced the whole direction of my course of my life. My best friend that I met on that trip ended up being the introduction to Ann's family, which ended up being the introduction to me getting married to Ann. I tell you the whole long story, but I'll just tell you those pieces all came out of me trusting God to do something that was kind of ridiculous and crazy. So that brings me to tonight, what I want to talk to you about for a few minutes. I know every year we talk about this subject, this idea, this thought about helping missionaries. And next week we're going to have a missionary here that's going to need a vehicle. They're going to need sound equipment. She's going to need a computer because she's going to need something to equip her to do what God's calling her to do in the country she's going to. Now, out of my going to do missions, I have taken, out of making that choice to go by myself and do that independently to do missions, I've taken thousands of students overseas to do missions. I've been to Ireland 29 times to influence a country. I just saw the greatest transition ever in a local church, going from the senior pastor to the next pastor in my second favorite church in the whole world in Limerick, Ireland. I've been a part of stuff that's so alive, and I've had to raise money, and I've had to help students raise money. All these hundreds of thousands of students I've taken overseas, I've helped them raise money to be able to go. We've cooked more ribs than is known to man. Put those on a smoker and you sell them off. And so all these things I'm talking to you all started with one thought, one idea that God put inside of me to do something beyond me. So tonight I'm going to challenge you with this. We raise money as students, as young adults, as the youth group of an Assembly of God church. We raise money through a thing called Speed the Light. Well, what is Speed the Light? Speed the Light is providing equipment, it's providing sound equipment, it's providing cars. And Macy, if you go ahead and show the pictures, this is the latest thing that we purchased. Go ahead and move to the picture of the Land Rover. I think it's right, it's number 3 or 4 right there. Just bounce to it real quick. I'll see if I can, there it is. We purchased a brand new Land Rover. How many know if you go down to the Land Rover store right now, it's going to cost some money, right? How many know it's going to cost quite a bit of money to go buy a Land Rover? Well, guess what? When you buy it in another country like Nicaragua, it doesn't go down in price. It just doesn't. This is the latest vehicle that we purchased. Now, if you'll just go ahead and hit the video of it real quick, and we'll just watch this real quick. By the way, when Pastor's talking about a clinic in a can, that's actually the place that we placed in Nicaragua, in the most backwoods, back part of Nicaragua anywhere. That's the clinic that we placed there, and this is the ambulance. This is the Land Rover ambulance that's for it. Go ahead and hit the video for it. Go ahead and hit the video right there before it. To get to La Cebadudu from Wazlala, which is the town that's closest by, you have to do this 5 different times. Now, this is a relatively calm moment that anytime you go there, it's going to take hours to get there from the next established town that would actually have any medical care or have any electricity or any running water. That's what you have to do 5 different times. Now, here's the thing. The road is just kind of a road. It's not like you just get on a road and drive down to Tulsa. It is very treacherous road. So we purchased that. So move forward. Let's, Macy, just show them the picture of the group of people. And what it is a group of people that are not around running water. They're not around any electricity, and they're not around any medical care. Most of them would walk 2 to 5 miles to get to medical care. So why am I showing you all these things? Because we purchased that vehicle to be an ambulance to go pick up people that couldn't walk. How many know if you're trying to give birth to a baby, you're probably not going to walk 5 miles if you're having complications? If you've broken your leg. Can I tell you the very first thing I saw from our clinic there? They didn't have a vehicle at that point in time. They actually tied 2 trees together. They cut down 2 trees, put this lady in a sling in it, and walked for 3 miles to get her to the clinic so that they could actually set her leg. And I'm just looking at all this stuff. And see, I've got to be a part of all this stuff. It all started with that beginning story. So, I've been in 3 of their Speed the Light vehicles. That's their 4th one. Well, Kevin, why would they need that many? Because they have a bus, they have a truck, they have that ambulance, they have another 4-wheel drive, like Toyota off-road vehicle. Why? Because the other place we went and worked in Nicaragua, we had to have a vehicle to be able to drive on non-drivable roads. We had to be in that to get there. And I was able to go do the work in Nicaragua that God has called us to do because we had the equipment and the tools to do it. I've landed in Ireland. When I've landed in Ireland, I've been in vehicles for missionaries. I've been in buses for missionaries. We took 60 students the first time that we went to Ireland. And we used every Speed the Light vehicle they had in the country. There's 20-some missionaries that are in the country. We used every vehicle to get our people all around the different parts of the country. So what happens is we as students here raise the money to equip our missionaries to be able to do the calling that God has for them in the country that they're in. Now, Speed the Light has expanded to a few different things. This is one of the newest things that they're doing. I've been in South Africa, and in parts of South Africa, there's no running water. And so one of the things they've started to partner with other organizations that put in new water wells. It transforms a community. But how many know it takes money to put in a new water well? It doesn't take a tremendous amount of money, but it takes money to do that. It takes someone supplying it to get it on the ground and to get it ready to go. And so when I was preparing for tonight, I just started to think about this, just some practical things. I mean, like Pringles. I like Pringles. And here's the thing about my Pringles cans tonight. I've got 50 Pringles cans across the front. They're all full. They're all full of Pringles. There are all kinds of different strange flavors tonight. I just went and bought what they had. So some of them are like dill pickle. Some of them are like barbecue. Some of them are like salt and vinegar, which reminds me of Ireland a lot. There's some original in there too. Yes, there's some original in there too. There is cheddar and something. You guys who help me cover them, you have to help me remember. But tonight, listen what I did. I ate my salt and vinegar ones because I got them and I was like hungry. Anyone ever do that? You buy something and you get it and eat it, right? How many can eat through a whole can of Pringles? All right. Anyone here with me? Yeah. How many of you feel bad about it and then you don't feel bad about it? You're like, yeah, I'm eating the whole thing. I'm doing this. No sharing with me. So we started this years ago. We started giving you a tool to help you to raise money for a missionary. What can you do? What did I do tonight? What did I ask everybody? Was I really passive about it? Was I pretty aggressive about it tonight? I asked everybody. I said, hey, do you have any change? Do you have any change? And you know what? People gave me change. And you know what's even better than people giving me change when I'm asking for change? Look in there, Carter. What's in there? There's some cash in there. There's some cash in here. People put in cash because I was asking for change. Now, listen, I give away these things for free, so I want you to hear this tonight. Your youth pastor is going to invest $85 into you. How many of you know what a can of Pringles costs? You're buying it at the wrong place because you buy it at Quick Trip. If you go to Walmart, it's $1.48. Okay, now listen. So your youth pastor tonight has invested, because it doesn't come free. I want you to hear that. Why do we need to raise money, and why do we as a church raise money for missions? Because it doesn't come free. If you land overseas as a missionary, no one just walks up to you and goes, hey, you know what? I'm going to give you the keys to a Land Rover. Well, God should do that, yeah? That would be amazing. And there are miracles that happen where that does happen, but most of the time, there has to be a way to make provision. So what am I going to do tonight? You can eat the Pringles. There's 50 of them. There's more than 50 here tonight. There's probably about 75 here tonight. People at Walmart look at me strange when I buy this many Pringles, by the way. Why did you just take all the boxes of the Pringles? Don't worry about it. It's all good. Now listen. Tonight, just with the change in here, if it was just the change, there's probably $4 or $5 worth of change. Now, because I watched how much cash came in, there's probably about $30 in here tonight that I've already raised towards Speed the Light. Okay, now think about this for a second. Usually when I give out a can and you take it to your house or you take it to school, or you dig in your couch, or you look in your car, or you ask your mom and dad about change, or you just look in your own room about change, you know what? Normally when I get a can like this back, I had a couple people just bring them back to me the other day. It's usually between $50 and $79. That's how much change you can put in one of these. Okay, so what if 50 people brought back, let's just go here and do some round math, okay? Let's just say 50 people brought back $50 in each can. What if we had $50 in each can? How much would we raise together off of Pringles cans? How much? $2,500? That's what it would be, something like that. Okay, now listen. Well, Kevin, that's not much money. How many $2,500 is a bit of money? It's a bit of money to go toward a car. Now listen, the Land Rover, the reason I really like the Land Rover is because our youth group raised the money. Our youth group raised all the money to be able to purchase that and give that to our missionaries. Now listen to what will happen though. That car, that Land Rover ambulance won't wear out in a year. As a matter of fact, they'll drive it for 10 to 15 years. So the amount of money, it's almost $37,000 we raised to be able to purchase that, will last them for almost 15 years as a life-saving tool. Why am I passionate about this? Why am I all about us doing something about doing this? I'm giving us one vehicle to do it tonight. Let me give you some other ideas. Have you ever done a car wash? How many know you make a lot of money on car wash and you get super wet at a car wash? It just happens. Okay? So maybe you set up somewhere and do a car wash. I've had a student here come to me and say, hey, can I do a car wash? Can I organize that? And I told him, since you're going to organize that, here's what I'll do. I'll get you the buckets, I'll get you the scrubby things, and I'll get you the Dawn soap. I'll help you. I want you to hear that. I'll help you. Then I told him this. I said, why don't you go approach Walmart? They went and approached Walmart and said, on a Saturday, can we car wash? What I didn't know when I asked him to go approach Walmart is that the manager there said, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll give you a space to do it, and I'll match whatever you make. So a student from here went to Walmart, raised $400. It doubled to $800 in a Saturday. Now notice I didn't go there and do that. I told a student, I'll equip you with the tools you need to do that, but it's going to be you. Listen, it's got to be you. That was one of them that we did. We've already showed you the lawn mowing one. But here's where I want us to go for just a minute tonight. What's in your brain? You all have a lot in your brain. Calculus is in your brain. What idea could God give you? I could tell you lots of stories. As a matter of fact, we've been to a couple different rallies where they've told us stories of individual students coming up with ideas of what to do. Some of them have come up with an idea to create desserts. Some of them have come up with an idea to create dessert cookies that are for the different holidays. And they've taken those and they've perfected how to do the covering and the icing on them. They've sold them for $20 a dozen, and they've made money for Speed the Light. We've had other students who've gone door to door and just simply done like what I did. Just going change and asking, say, hey, I'm trying to help raise money for a vehicle for a missionary. Would you have any change? And you're like, well, Kevin, it's COVID time. I know. But how many know we're about to come out of COVID time? Can you feel it? Can you sense it? Some things are getting ready. And people, and listen, out of COVID time, people are looking to give. If someone's willing to do anything to raise some money for a good cause, people are willing to give. Why? Because some of them have been given to. So what other idea would God give you? I didn't have the brilliant idea to go to a farm and work all summer, but someone else did, and I said yes to it. Did it shape me and mold me into who I am? Yeah, absolutely. 100%. But you know what? I've come up with all kinds of different ways to raise money for Speed the Light. I've had students take suckers to school and sell them. And I told them, I'll buy the suckers if you'll sell the suckers at school, if you'll just sell them there. Okay? So they show up with a box of suckers. How many of you are a sucker for a sucker? Give me 50 cents for a sucker. How many of you are like, yes, I need candy in 4th hour because I'm dying? Okay? You hear me? They sold, I don't even know if you can now. See, that's what I don't know at school. But here's what I know. People buy stuff. How many of you buy food at school? Food, and you need food as fuel all day long. You need it. If someone's selling it, you're buying it. Okay, you're there. Okay. So that's one of the things that I've helped assist with and say, okay, here, if you'll do this, I'll help you do it. But here's my question to you. What would God put in your brain? What would God put in your brain to do? When I started taking students on missions trips, I didn't know how to smoke ribs at all. I didn't know how to. Then I met this guy by the name of Tim Mort, who cooked ribs for hundreds of employees of a local company here in town. I went with him one day to help put like 250 racks of ribs on for this company he worked for because he needed help, and he showed me how to do it. And out of that, I decided that, hey, that's a brilliant way for students to raise money to go on a missions trip. So for every $10, every $20 you sell, $10 goes to you. You can raise a lot of money that way for missions. And so that's one of my ideas is, hey, we could do that. We could equip people to do this. So that's one of my main fundraisers that I help students who are going overseas with me. We've raised $10,000. We've raised $2,000. We've raised $5,000. I'll tell you what we've raised. We've raised what people needed by the work they were willing to put in. So here's my challenge for you tonight. What would you be willing to let God inspire you to do? Maybe it's make jewelry. Maybe you paint paintings. I've seen some of yours. I think they're pretty amazing. We had one young lady decide to just start painting paintings and putting them online and putting them up for sale, $30, $50. She raised one year almost $500 for Speed the Light just because she set in her mind that she wanted to have a goal of doing something really outside the box, something that she liked to do. There's just so many ways to do this. But here's my question tonight. Would you let God speak to you about how to do that and what amount to do it with? So here's what I've done. Underneath your chair tonight, there's a card. And Tara's going to help me with the math tonight because we did the math earlier. No, it's real easy. You've already done the math. Okay, listen. You're like, Kevin, I don't know if I can fill this out. Yeah, you can. It's your name. It's your phone number. It's your address. But listen, before you fill anything out, I want you to hear this. Listen with me. Listen with me. Okay. If you go, I can't do anything, here's what I'm going to challenge you to do. And Tara's going to help me with the math. Okay, you ready? If they do a quarter a week, if you say, okay, I'm going to commit to a quarter a week to give to Speed the Light to help buy a missionary a vehicle, just a quarter a week, what's it going to be? They're going to raise $13 over 1 year. $13. If we jump it up a little bit more, let's say a quarter, because a quarter is not, how many figured out a quarter is not a lot? A quarter doesn't buy a whole lot. It doesn't do a whole lot, but you combine it together with some other quarters, it does. So what if you were to decide, okay, Kevin, I'm going to do something outrageous. I'm going to give a quarter a day. So I'm going to do a quarter a day. That means you ask one of your buddies at school, hey, do you have a quarter? How many of you do that anyway? How many of you get money from your friends? You see them coming back. I can see that happening. Hey, can I have that quarter? What do you need it for? I just want your quarter. And all right, here you go. Quarter, there you go. If you were to go a quarter a day for Speed the Light, by the end of the year, it would be how much? $91.25. Okay, it'd be $91. And if you round that up just a little bit, if you worked a little bit about that, guess what you could do in 1 year's time? You could do $100 for Speed the Light. Okay. Now listen. So I believe in that so strong. That's why I'm giving you this. Because if you need a container to put a quarter in every day. Well, Kevin, how am I going to get a quarter every day? Okay. Can I just talk really practically with you for a second? How many of you know that $1 equals 4 quarters? So you have an extra dollar left over, so you go 4 days, boom. But you just put it as one of your focus things that you're going to do, is that you're going to get here for this year, you're going to help raise $100 for Speed the Light. Now here's my other challenge for family groups. If every family group here would set out and figure out a way to raise $1,000, that would be $6,000 more dollars. Creatively together as a group. Maybe that's the car wash. Maybe that's mowing yards together. Maybe it's doing something crazy. Okay, and I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to land this right here. Here is my thought tonight, because I'm right at 8:15. I want you to hear this. Ann and I commit every single week to give to Speed the Light. In what we give to the church every single week. And why do we do it every week? Because I think there's just something really incredible about bringing your first fruits to God. Listen, I want you to tithe. I want you to give money to the church. This is above what tithe is, because you tithe because that's what God, He's given you the money first, and He expects you to come back and give Him 10% of it. That's called tithing, is what that is. But I'm going to challenge you tonight. Would you write down on there what you think you could do? Maybe as you were sitting here tonight, you're like, I bake cookies like nobody else. Maybe it's lemon meringue pie. Maybe you could learn how to make that, and then you could just sell them to me, and you'd make money from me all the time. Okay, so maybe you make pies. Maybe you do something creative. But would you just write down what you feel like God would have for you to do? I've just spelled out a couple of things that would be helpful for you. If you give every week, listen, if you came in and gave 7 quarters every week at youth service, you come in, and we're going to start taking offering again. It's been a while since we've done offering. We're just going to put a bucket. We're going to put a bucket, and you can come by and put money in every week. If you want credit for it, we'll get envelopes here. You can put it on there and put it in here. If you don't want credit for it, you just want to come and give, we're going to do it every week. Why? Because this missionary who's going to be here next week is dependent on youth group members to provide her equipment. That's how our organization works. That's how it's structured. So if you just write down what you feel like God would have you do, if you're willing tonight, if you're willing to take the challenge of a quarter a day, if you're willing to take the challenge of a quarter a day, then I have a can of Pringles here for you tonight. It's up front. Some years I've just given the Pringles cans away and just said, just take them, eat them, fill it up if you can. Did you notice I raised the bar just a little bit? If you'll join with me and be a quarter a day person, then this is for you. I want you to eat the Pringles, enjoy the Pringles, but then start getting people to help you. Now here's what I know. In one night, I'm at about $30. So guess how many days ahead I am already? So guess what happens? If you get aggressive about it, you go around your neighborhood, you go to your friends, you go to your family, and all of a sudden they know you're coming. They know you're coming with a Pringles can to get their money, and guess what? You might get to 100 by the time we get to the end of just a couple months. Some of you, if you just simply go to your grandma and say, Grandma, do you have any change? Some of you go to your aunt or your uncle and go, do you have any change? Some of you go to your next door neighbor and say, hey, do you have any change? Would you, listen, and I'm going to end with this, would you become aggressive enough to ask for someone else? This is not for me. Why do I ask aggressively? Because it's for someone else. But ultimately, you know who it's for? It's for God in His kingdom. I'm going to pray, and I want you to fill out your cards. Jesus, tonight, God, you've let me live such an incredible life. I thank you for that. I thank you for camp. I thank you for a challenge by a person I didn't even know speaking. God, that whole choice-making transformed my life. And tonight, God, I just pray that someone in their heart of heart, as I was talking tonight, would just go, man, I can do that. I can be a part of this bigger thing that's bigger than me. I can help a missionary do their job. God, help me to have ideas. Help my brain to be creative, to come up with things that would transform the world, that someone would get saved in another country because I've equipped a missionary to go tell the good news. God, I pray it inspires students with thoughts tonight of how to do this, how to accomplish this, how to go about it. And God, we'll rejoice at the end of this next year as we look back and see what you've done. It's in your name we pray. Amen. Last thing. I fundraise every year, by the way. You guys have helped me. We do a big dessert auction every year. This last year was almost $13,000 in one night. Do you hear that? $13,000 in one night. I've been doing that annually for almost 35 years of raising that much money. It takes a lot to organize it. It takes something to make it happen. But Ann and I are personally committed to it. I'm committed to it as your youth pastor. I'm challenging you to do the same. If you'll fill out a card, bring the card by, put it in this bucket. If you do have any more change, put it in right here. And if you're going to take my 100, if you're going to take my my dollar, oh man, I can't even talk. If you're going to take my quarter challenge for per day, grab you a can of Pringles and take that with you tonight. That's what I would like for you to do. Thank you. You can keep the pen. Keep the pen.
I actually do sell candies at school.
You sell candy at school? Okay, all right. So you already know how to do this. If you're going to take my challenge, take a can with you tonight. That's what they're here for. Listen, it's not to keep you from taking them. I want you to take them because I want us to accomplish this goal. Put it right here. Put the card right here. Yep.